Okay. Uh, what's up? I'm Keith Kilgore, and this is the Game Impulse. And today I'm doing a review of the most recent Skyrim DLC, Dragonborn. Dragonborn was released in early December of last year, so it's been out a little over a month now. Especially with games like this, you kind of have to give it like a month, otherwise, you can't review a game really within like one day. So I guess I'll get started. This one of the first things you notice about this game is it's kind of you might even spend a little while trying to start the game. It took me a little bit to figure it out, and then I was in Windhelm, and you get attacked by these dragon cultists, and then it shows you the way to get to Solstheim, which is fine. If it could have maybe been a little bit more straightforward with starting, kind of like, a guard will tell you about Solstheim and how stuff's been going on over there or something, that would have been a little bit easier. So yeah, it's this whole DLC is about the Dragonborn, the first Dragonborn, which is this guy named Mirak, and he was a dragon priest, and he turned on him and all that good stuff, and he's returning. Now the dragons have returned, he can return. So you go to Solstheim, which was part of Morrowind, but the Nords took it over, and then they kind of half live there with the Dark Elves and the Nords all kind of half live together, which is interesting. The layout's really, really cool. It's a combination of, the layout of Morrowind and the layout of Skyrim. It's still very snowy, but you'll notice like the giant glowing mushrooms that are all over Morrowind, and just it's a very cool place. And they introduce all kinds of new armor, weapons and stuff, like new staves got introduced. You can actually get spears, but you just use them as arrows for your bow, which I would have liked to have like a spear, but whatever. They introduced Stalrim, which is like this magical ice armor, which is can only be crafted after learning. You have to learn how to craft it, and they can only be mined with an ancient Nord pickaxe, and there's only a handful of those around, so you kind of have to look for those. There's Bone Mold armor, which was in Morrowind. There's Nordic Hero armor, which is, I guess, an upgrade to the Nordic armor. I'm not sure. Haven't found it yet. And they also introduced new kinds of shouts and abilities and all kinds of whatnot. One of the abilities is you can summon a werebear. They finally introduced werebears into this game, and they summon a werebear for like 2 minutes, and it'll fight for you. And then there's all the new shouts, which is one I think it's Cyclone. It causes a cyclone to spawn. There's Dragon Aspect, which is really cool. It gives you like this abstract spectral dragon armor, and it enhances like all of your stats. But you can only use it once a day because that's kind of very overpowered, very much so. And then there's the Ben Will shout, which is basically how you tame dragons, which is something that we wanted since, in the main quest you can ride Udaving the dragon, and you ride him to go to Skuldafn, and so now you can actually ride dragons, but you have to tame them. The only thing about the Ben Will shout is like the second word allows you to, control most humans and mortals and all that, and then the third word allows you to control dragons, but the first word allows you, it says you make the earth bend to your will. And so I kind of feel like the first word is only to enhance the quest for Dragonborn, which I'm not going to tell you how, but yeah, you have to use it in part of the main quest. But like, I don't understand, because then if you don't find the other words, then after that part of the quest, Ben Will is completely useless. So if they could have handled that maybe a little better. Crap, what else? They also introduced the Black Books, which is the way to get to Apocrypha, which is Hermaeus Mora's realm of oblivion, and you get all kinds of special powers there. But while you're there, you meet seekers, which I don't even know how to describe them. They're these huge hairy things that attack you. There's lurkers, which is like a giant fish person, giant thing, and like I said, you can gain some abilities there. Like one of them is a couple of them like enhance your shouts, like using unrelenting force, it'll obliterate somebody and they'll dissolve. When you use the frost breath shout, it'll actually has a chance to freeze them in ice. And if you use the fire breath shout, if you kill somebody with it, it'll cause a fire worm. A little worm, which is like a little flying, flaming worm that fights for you until all the enemies are gone, which is really interesting. Let's see, some of the other things they introduce into this are they introduce these little dwarf things. I haven't encountered them yet, but I've heard about them. And like I said, werebears are now part of the wild. So all in all, I think it's a really good DLC. Couple things about it though is in comparison to Dawn Guard, I'm not sure which one is better. Like Dawn Guard, I think had a lot more in terms of a main DLC quest line and had a lot of stuff, but just the random and extra content, I think Dragonborn gets it, especially because there's you can tame a dragon, and they introduce serpentine dragons, which are these dragons, but they have more snake-like heads, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure how difficult they are. I found my first one earlier today, and it was pretty difficult. So I mean, it's about a normal dragon. I don't think not nearly as bad as a revered dragon, but somewhere close to there. And then shit. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Also, it was basically everything they added was in Solstheim. They didn't really do anything with the mainline, which I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping maybe a couple new quests would get thrown in actual mainline Skyrim or something. But they added Solstheim, which is not a small area. It's like, I want to say it would probably take up most of like the southeast corner of Skyrim, around Riften and all that, and kind of as far to the right as Averstad, and almost as far north as Windhelm, I would think, which is really cool. I think it's not a small area. There's also since it does have a Nordic background, there's Nordic ruins is there. There's the Skull, which are the native Nords who you encounter. It would teach you how to make Stalrim and whatnot. So I mean, I guess they did add enough. But so all in all, I think it's a good buy. It's a very good DLC. I give this DLC I give it an 8.5 out of 10. So you should buy this. But then really quickly, I have two problems that I've recently thought about with the main game of Skyrim, because I just recently encountered these. Which is one, I think they make it too centered around your skills. Like you pick what skills you want to work. You can literally work any skill. It doesn't really matter. Some of them have a boost. But if you don't work on all your skills, after a while, you're going to get stuck on a level. Like, I'm stuck at literally, almost, 61, almost level 62. And it'll probably take me forever to level up now, because, I have one-handed completely leveled up. I have two-handed completely leveled up. Sneak completely leveled up, heavy armor is completely leveled up, I think light armor is almost there, but I'm not going to go much farther, because, I mean, everything else is going to take too long, and so I'll probably get bored of Skyrim before I reach the level cap of 81 and a half, which, is weird anyway, but I feel like they should have done it yes, you can, without a level cap, and yes, you can level up, and doing stuff that makes that levels up your skills, helps you level up. But then just doing quests and just fighting enemies and whatnot, you get experience, and that levels you up instead of having to, worry about, just doing skills, because then you get stuck in a spot. And the other thing is, Magicka's not really, unless you're a mage, Magicka's not useful. I mean, the health bar, you know, that's always good. Health's always nice to have. And stamina, I mean, you can run for longer. You can do more powerful power attacks, and it increases your carrying weight. So stamina is useful. Stamina is a good thing. But literally, unless you need to cast higher level spells, there's almost no reason to upgrade your magicka. So I feel like it was kind of unbalanced in that way, because like that is the least upgraded on my character. My character is a sneak character who also, you know, uses two-handed weapons, which I know is really weird. But I mean, I just feel like they made the game imbalanced that way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Go out and buy Dragonborn DLC. Also buy Skyrim if you haven't. You know, buy any of the Skyrim DLCs. They're all good, but definitely get Dragonborn. Yep, this is Game Impulse. See ya.